All right, old LeBron is at it again. He in his feelings. He flopping in real life now. He flopping in real life and he flopping in the game. I guess we need to talk about it. Let's go. All right, welcome back, man. Language of Kings, we in here. So we kind of have to deal with the whole LeBron James, Stephen A. Smith thing because LeBron today went on with what's buddy name, ex-football guy, whatever his name, went on the show and he's talking about a plethora of things, but mainly he's talking about Stephen A. in this portion of the video we're going to watch here too. So I want you guys to check this out because apparently this gives more credibility to Stephen A. because this shows how big he must be because he's bothering LeBron, and you can tell throughout this interview, you can tell, man, that LeBron doesn't do a whole lot of interviews, but now to come out and do an interview, and then you're gonna have your race heroes, they're gonna come out and say, why he had to go on the white guy show? What does that mean? Why couldn't you go find a black? Anyway, we're gonna play the video, let you guys deal with it, and then we'll talk about it. Play it.
TV and make a decision for your career. We got you. We got it. We finally got it. We finally made a little chink in the armor.
We got something.
We got something.
It's selfish.
Oh, it's selfish. Yeah. You selfish mother. Yeah.
And then that caught a little bit of fire, right? Because a lot of people don't like seeing people that are successful in anything, especially if somebody is taking happiness from them and their team, which you were doing, obviously, with the Cavs. And then that just got, you're saying from that moment is when until, which leads obviously to you and Stephen A. Hey, legit, that feels like a moment that had been brewing for a long time.
He's like on a Taylor Swift tour run right now.
Oh yeah, yeah, we're watching it. Yep. We're all seeing it.
Oh yeah,
you're seeing it as well.
He literally, it started off with, I didn't want to address it.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't want to address it. I wasn't going to address it, but since the video came out, I feel the need to address it.
Yeah, on fire. You talk about it.
Are you kidding me? If there's one person that couldn't wait to the video to drop so you could address it, it's your like seriously. It's. And like another, he completely like missed the whole point. The whole point. Never would I ever not allow people to talk about the sport, criticize players about what they do on the court. That is your job to criticize or to, be in a position where, okay, if a guy's not performing, that is all part of the game. That's all part of the game. But when you take it and you get personal with it, it's my job to not only protect my household, but protect the players. And I think a lot of the media, including him, and I know he's gonna be happy as hell. He's gonna be smiling from ear to ear when he hears me talking about it again. Oh my God, he's gonna get home and grab some ice cream out of the freezer and sit in his chair in his tighty whities on the couch.
I hope at some point you two do get a chance. But you're right.
Dude, relax, bro. Relax. Seriously, just
How do you feel about the way the game?
So, a lot to kind of unpack there, but listen to what LeBron says, man. Again, once again, the fact that he's saying that Stephen A. is going on his Taylor Swift tour talking about this thing because Stephen A. has addressed this thing multiple times on ESPN, his daytime show, and on his personal podcast. He has addressed this thing, but this is after LeBron stand up and went over to this guy and confronted this guy at a game, at a live game during which LeBron was playing. Goes over, stands in front of Stephen A. Smith, looks him down and then gives him the words, bop, 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 you better stop, keep my son's name out your mouth. This whole thing is what it was, quote unquote, supposed to be about. He did that in public. And then Stephen A., who is a commentator, who is an analyst, who talks about the sports across the board, that's his job. So he goes on the show and talks about this, and he continues to talk about it. I think I've seen him talk about it at least 4 or 5 times on different shows and stuff like that. That's his job. That's what he does. LeBron James, you play basketball. Now you've stopped playing basketball, LeBron, to go and do what Stephen A does. That's the equivalent of Stephen A. Stop doing the talk show thing. Stop talking about this incident with you, and he goes and plays for the Lakers. See how odd that sounds? That's weird. That's weird, but that is what you get when you get these athletes, these celebrity athletes who are in their feelings. And if you note, LeBron said nothing about the original issue because he tried to make it seem like, oh, it's my son. You talking about my son who is in the NBA. LeBron's son is 20 years old, I believe, makes $8 million in the NBA. We're not talking about Stephen A. talking about LeBron's toddler son who like, hey, your son should be out of Pampers and out of that stroller right now. He's not talking about that. He's talking about a grown man. And LeBron James' son, the grown man, has said nothing about this. It's just LeBron talking about keep my son's name out your mouth, like your son is not a grown man in the NBA making $8 million. Boy, please, that is what Stephen A. does as a job. And I don't like Stephen A. Not in the least, because I think Stephen A. is a coward of the highest form. But so do I think that about LeBron too, as a coward of the highest form. You know, because as men, you don't step to a guy in public. If you got an issue with this guy, you see this guy, you can go over to this guy, hey, this is what it is. Or you pick up the phone, hey, this is what don't do that, whatever. None of that happened. At this point, that's what needs to happen because now they're starting to look real feminine because Stephen A. said this about LeBron. LeBron said that about Stephen A. It didn't end there. Now it's back and forth. Now LeBron's going on shows, Pat McAfee and all of this. Now they're going back and forth and he's talking about the guy's drawers and his underwear while he's eating ice cream and all of these things. So it's getting real feminine now. So at this point, language of kings, man, you have to deal with it man to man before it gets all the way out of control, And I've seen men, end it for far less than this craziness that they are taking part in. Here's what you got to do. You got to get on. Hey, we can hash this out. We can have a conversation. I can come to you. You can come to me. We can have a conversation face to face. We can do it that way. Hey, we want to put the gloves on. Let's put the gloves on and we can do that. Nobody knows what happened. End of the thing. Squash it. It's over. Whatever the case may be. But you have to end it at this point. You can't continue to go back and forth because, again, it looks real Housewives of Atlanta-ish or, Texas-ish. Whatever the Real Housewives is at this point. As men, you cannot do that. LeBron going on this show shows, again, that this must be bothering him. Stephen A. comes out and said, I think LeBron is just really mad, not at the fact that I said his son is not very good at the NBA at this point, as an NBA player at this point. He's not really upset about that. He said that that's what he's upset about, but that's not what he's really upset about. What he's upset about is the fact that I'm talking about him, LeBron, and the fact that I got him number 2 all time, which is, as far as basketball players throughout the history of the NBA, who's the best. Stephen A. says, I have Michael Jordan number 1 and LeBron at number 2, and LeBron just cannot take that, cannot stand that. He's in his feelings about that, which, because of LeBron James's way he moves, I can see that. But then Stephen A. also went back on what he said. Oh, LeBron is just speaking these things to me. He confronted me as a father. Not as a basketball player, but as a father. And so I'm not going to hold this against LeBron because he wasn't coming at me as an NBA player. He wasn't coming at me as a man. He was coming at me as a father. That's real cowardly, man. That's again, you don't have to be the hardest guy in the room, but don't be a soft guy in the room. Don't go back on it. Man, we talking about basketball. LeBron James, if you say LeBron James confronted you as a father, here's what you need to understand, Stephen A., that you too are a father. What are your kids gonna think when they see you on television getting confronted by this NBA guy and you're just, this is nothing? No, it don't work like that. Get out of my face. Don't talk that noise to me. I have a problem with the way you address it. I'm not saying you punch the guy in the face or y'all kick each other, pull out them things, and you know we can air it out right here and everybody get hurt. No, I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is, don't you talk to me that way. I have a problem with that. You come to me like a man and we deal with it like a man. And if you have a problem with something I said about your son, then let that be the narrative. But ever since the whole conversation, the confrontation happened, it's not even been about Bron. It's been about Stephen A versus LeBron, not Stephen A versus Bronny or anything like that, because everybody knows that Bronny, as far as an NBA player, is just not up to par. He may get there one day, who knows, but he's not that guy. So how did it get to this point where it's blowing up? It's multiple interviews. Is LeBron going to sit with Pat McAfee, ESPN, all this? How did it get to this point? Because there's deep-rooted, deep-seated stuff that's not really being addressed. If LeBron has a problem with Stephen A, you need to clean it and mop it up with Stephen A. And you can do that however you want to do that, but don't try to mask it as something else, making it seem like your whole house is in danger or your family's in danger, all because this guy who's an commentator says that your son is not ready for the NBA yet. And that triggers you. And again, this is not your infant son, your toddler son, your teenage son. This is a grown man. And that's a problem for you, LeBron. That just seems false. That seems shaky. That seems narrow-minded. That's a shaky thing, man. And I'm just saying that as men, we don't handle things in that way. You got to change it. You got to change that, man. So we'll see, and maybe we'll do another video to get Stephen A's response to LeBron James's response and all of that. But the whole sports media thing has gotten funny, gotten iffy, man. You got Ryan Clark always talking about race and racism and this and that. It's like you can't go into a sports show or watch a sports show and actually get sports. It's everything but. Is this guy's fighting this guy and we're not talking about boxing? Is this race thing? Is this thing about, abortion or whatever the case may be? It's just gotten crazy, man. So, but that's the show for today, man. Let me know what you guys think, man. We'll talk about it in the comments below, man. And let me know what you guys think. And let me know if you think that Stephen A is going to be walking around his house in his drawers, eating ice cream, thinking about what LeBron said.